Welcome to Coursera's special virtual leadership series in association with ET Education. The landscape of higher education is evolving faster than ever, powered by digital transformation, deeper industry collaborations, and the growing demand for future ready skills. As universities adapt to this new reality, we're seeing a clear shift toward experiential learning, micro credentials, and technologies like generative AI that are reshaping how we teach and learn. Today, we're joined by two visionary leaders who are at the forefront of this transformation. We're pleased to host Dr. Sachin Gupta, Chancellor at Sanskriti University, Uttar Pradesh, and Prashasti Rastogi, Senior Director at Coursera. A very warm welcome to the two of you.
Thank you. Welcome. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much for your time. We're excited about the conversation today. So let me get right into this now. Dr. Gupta, to start with, India's higher education sector is evolving under technology and policy reforms. According to you, what are the biggest opportunities and challenges that are shaping this change?
First of all, thank you, ET, for inviting me, and thank you, Coursera, for having this session. It's a pleasure being here. To answer your question, yes, the Indian higher education is undergoing a remarkable change. The first major change happened, I think, was after the post-COVID, where digital technology came into place. And I think the second change happened was after NEP, National Education Policy, where we've seen digital platforms coming in, a lot of technology coming in, multidisciplinary education coming in. And I believe that major changes was the giving upper hand to the higher education sector, where we can modify our courses to industry linked and make students skill-based education, where earlier it was more of, I think, more of classroom teaching and less of other teaching. But I think that the scenario has changed. So this has given a leverage to all the education institutions where we talk about innovation, research, lifelong learning. These are the major areas. And after, in the current area, we're talking about artificial intelligence. I think this has again changed the whole domicile of education, where we're talking about AI. Now AI is not just limited to engineering. It is with all the courses that we have, and not us, but I think it's globalized now. And the major challenge that I seek is there's a digital divide, I feel. So we have to make a balance between the digital and the classroom teaching, where the faculties are also not so equipped with the digital platforms. But yes, this going forward, we have to make them upskill the faculty members and make the academic quality and relevance for rapid change that we're looking forward for. The other is the way forward is the blend of technology between the classroom teaching, the edtech platforms that are coming in, and even the education system that is going on. So we have to see there is a balance of technology, and when we say balance of technology, the empathy and the human touch should always be there. Human value should also be there. So that has to be managed in the classroom. So I think overall, but it's a good scenario for the education system where there's a lot of technology coming in, opportunities coming in, and it's a good time to be in the education sector right now.
So let me go across to Prashasti with this. From your perspective at Coursera, what do you think are some inspiring examples of Indian universities leveraging these digital platforms to expand access and impact, but with all those values intact as well?
Wonderful. And thank you, Dr. Gupta, for setting up the context, right? You talked about change, you talked about technology in education. I mean, at macro level, Shilpa, what is happening is we've always had technological change that has led to disruption. We live in an era of AI where change and disruption is leading to displacement, right? So there's this third phenomenon that has been added, which is displacement. And as educational institutions, most of the institutions are at the front lines of, this change, because the ROI of a learning program is also a career. And if the careers are getting disrupted, then obviously the educational institutions need to be very agile in responding to that change and saying, okay, how can we find hope and opportunity amongst this rapid change and give the students the skills that are needed to adapt and thrive in this age of displacement and disruption. And that's where we have seen multiple universities in India do a wonderful job of adopting really fast and responding with agility. I'll take an example of how KL University has been doing it. KL University understands, takes the skills that are relevant in today's market as a feedback from their employer partners, and they allow their students to gain those skills through curriculum integrated programs running on Coursera. So they are using the generative AI programs on Coursera, the cybersecurity programs on Coursera, the certifications from top industry, providers like Google or SAP, Microsoft, and so on and so forth. These are available to their students as part of their degree programs to make sure that their skills are always updated. There are multiple universities like Symbiosis who also co-curate their own courses using Coursera's course creation tools, where they have a very beautiful mix of faculty taught knowledge, fundamentals, overlapping with industry knowledge coming from a platform like ours. And they kind of intertwine it together to give a real-time learning to the students, a more hands-on learning to the students, but rooted in the context, right? And then there are obviously academic integrity checks that are available for assessments to show the learner effort, etc., which enables these universities to scale fast, scale very rapidly onto the skills which are required in the environment, and also do it in the regional context with full structured academic integrity that the universities require today. So, since Dr. Gupta mentioned the interlacing of education and technology, this is what something that universities are able to do very quickly and at a very low cost.
So I'll come back to you, Dr. Gupta. As universities are innovating, as they're moving towards outcome-based learnings, how is Sanskriti University ensuring that the students graduate with both academic depth and practical real-world skills that are required to keep up with the changing pace?
See, I think every university have their own challenges because it depends from where the student is coming from and what are his vision. So to align the vision of the student and the parent, so every university has to work in that area. Sanskriti has been working in that area, and where we have students from coming from big cities and C also. And from other part of the country, we have students from 28 countries and 22 states. So when we say that it's a cosmopolitan culture that we have. So the first very important part that we look out is when the students are coming, have they chosen the right course? Because what happens is we are in a rat race. We don't know whether the student has chosen the course because his friends has chosen or the parents have forced him. But his actual skill lies in some other course. So what we do in the first semester, we ask the students to go through some aptitude testing and psychometric testing. We try to know that is the student right for the course, and if not, we ask the students to change the course if that can be possible, or to align or choose some courses which they have their strength. So once we have that, so we are very sure that students is aligned to that course, and almost, I'll say, almost 10 to 15% students are just that they've chosen the course not because they wanted to, but the friend has chosen and they were not sure because what course they wanted to go in. And that really happens because when students are coming from school level to graduation level, it so happens. As far as outcome based learning is, see, one first is the, I think, the persona of the student, the perception. When students come from somewhere from Bihar or any city, I think the first our university looks at is when he goes back, what change have I brought into his physical lookout of the student, so that student, the parent understands my student bacha babu ban gaya hai. So when we talk about Bihar or something like that, so I think first is his personality that we look after is. Second is, yes, the outcome-based education. Now, there are two reasons that every university wants to excel in. Number one. Number two is you can talk about all the ranking criteria that you talk about. I'll be very clear in that. Whether you talk about QS or you talk about NAC, NRF, all talk about CO and POs. But we have been doing it from day one that every education that we provide, every academy that we provide should have skill-based learning, and it has to be 2:1 ratio, that practicals have to be 2 credits and theory has to be 1, so that when students go out beyond the classrooms, there has to be skilling over there. Because in coming times and today also, degree is not of much of relevance It's the skill that matters and the attitude and aptitude that matters for the student. So it is very, very important for us that what we provide is skill-based training. Internships are there, a lot of internships we do. We ask every student to go at least 3 internships in the 3-year graduation, and we have a lot of companies lined up. We have tie up with all the industry. We call ourselves the industry oriented university, and every student has to go at least 3 internships in 3 years. So industry types are there, and we have two startups and incubation center over here. One is from the DST and one is from the UP government. So we have already 15 startups already in place, where almost 10 lakh rupees of funding have been done to them, just for the students who want to go for entrepreneurship. And if they are a job seekers, then again we'll focus on mapping those students. How can we give them the best industry that is looking for the right student? So there, the skill-based education, the laboratory training, the internships, those are very much in place, so that whenever the student goes out, he is confident performing there. So internships, out-based learning, and again, mapping of the student. We have mapping from day one about his curriculum, examinations, what are his marks. So all is been aligned, all the faculties are working in those lines where every student is lined up, and every day, every faculty has to map their students. We have a mentor-mentee system where all the faculties are mentoring the students, and they are being mapped where they're lacking, which areas they lack in, whether it is the core subjects or the skilling, so that the student is becoming like a 360 degree. He does not know, he doesn't lack, or he's a bookworm. So it is a duty of the student and the faculty members to reach that target.
It's fantastic to hear that you are doing skill-based training. I'll go across to Prashasti for her perspective on this. Prashasti, it really is true. Skill-based learning and training is the need of the hour, with now the industry wanting skills and valuing them more than degrees.
Yeah, I mean, I totally resonate with what Dr. Gupta said. Skills over scores, right? A degree is only valuable to signal that you have done some sort of structured learning, you have fundamentals in place. But there's also a very strange macroeconomic situation which is emerging. By 2030, 92 million jobs will be displaced, right? But at the same time, 170 million new jobs will be created as well, right? That's a gain of about 78 million roles, right? Challenge is only 60% of the people will be in that pace to claim those new roles. 40% of the people will not get those jobs, right? Because they are highly underskilled. Now, as employers are ramping up use of AI in their processes, including the hiring processes, what is happening is one resume is starting to look like the other with the usage of Gen AI in the hiring process. The only way to differentiate is verifiable credentials. And what are verifiable credentials? Verifiable credentials are industry endorsed credentials, which which are like certifying students that they have earned particular skills and demonstrated an example of applying those skills. In Coursera parlance, we call them industry micro credentials, right? So industry micro credentials are being highly recognized by businesses to hire candidates to ensure that there is a skill on the resume which can be verified against a demonstrated application. And what higher education institutions are doing is they are able to personalize learning at scale by offering these credit recommended industry micro credentials to the learners working towards a certain degree program and with a certain career specialization interests to ensure students have anytime, always ready, job ready qualifications. Correct? So this is one phenomena. But at the same time, just to understand how AI works, there's a lot of hunger overall. I mean, what we are seeing in India is, I mean, it's pretty cool, right? We are heading ahead in even this. In 2023, on the Coursera platform, when we rolled out the entire Generative AI Academy, we had one enrollment every 4 minutes happening for somebody picking up a generative AI course. This number has surged to 3 enrollments per minute now, right? So in India, we've logged in about 2 million learning hours just on generative AI. I mean, if you juxtaposition it to average rate of learning, it's about 230 years of learning that has happened in 3 years, right? So that's a very cool and extraordinary phenomena. Now you look at how industry is using the generative AI process for growing. So productivity is estimated to rise at 2.6% by 2030 with a widespread adoption of generative AI. That's equivalent to 6 years of growth, right? So we are leapfrogging with the use of AI everywhere. This means a lot of people are at risk of being left behind if they don't play tune. And in education, we've seen 24% of tasks can be automated, which the faculty is spending manual hours on today. So, what does AI excellence in this scenario, where there's a business change, there's a process change, there's an economy change, and there's a learner demand, right? So, their customers as well as their suppliers, right? Both have a very different kind of a need. So, excellence of education in today's day and age is how deeply integrated is AI into your teaching, learning, and university functions, right? From that perspective, are you able to offer personalized learning at scale? It does cost money to do that in a physical classroom, but with the use of AI platforms or AI efficiencies, it's possible to deliver that. At the same time, are you delivering the right skills to the students when they are in need? So, is there like a shorter feedback loop and a shorter turnaround time towards redefining your curriculums? Are your curriculums covering the areas of entrepreneurship, soft skills, human ready skills, kind of future proofing your pedagogical methodology where AI driven insights, AI driven feedback loops with students are constantly being plowed back into designing the learning process at universities. So it has to be flexible, stackable, adoptable, and agile. And that's too much of an ask from a regular teaching learning process in an institution. And the heart of it lies with the faculty, which means they need time to do all of this, but at the same time, deliver research, and at the same time, collaborate with the industry to deliver projects. So, all of that means there needs to be a deeply integrated efficiency driven by technology, simplifying the processes. And students are already doing it, right? They have a hunger. They're constantly looking at GPTs to take help in submitting assignments. Are we getting smarter than them? Is the question that institutions are asking themselves today. And at Coursera, we've made significant strides in supporting institutions to do that. But obviously, we evolve with every step there. So,
Well,
long
absolutely.
answer, but yeah.
See, just to add on, we say that earlier we were teaching our students for a particular job roles,
Mm.
but today we don't know what job roles they will be in when they pass out. Suppose they take admission 25 and 29 when they pass out, what job roles they will be. So we are teaching for a job role that we also don't know. And secondly, the job is not going, but job roles are changing, I feel. So that is very important that students have to upgrade themselves. And that is where the Coursera and other these platforms come in and do the hand holding.
Absolutely. They help in making your students future ready. So it's a very challenging time for institutions, for educators, but also one that is rife with opportunities.